And let us always remember, when we fight, we win.
Well, guess who won? And guess who does not fight? Democrats. In 2004, we heard the same thing with George W. Bush, where voters said, I may not agree with him, but he fights for what he believes in. And with Trump, we hear the same thing.
Initially, I will say I did not agree with him. And then I started seeing that he was not afraid to speak his mind. And I noticed that he was not scared to say what he felt, regardless of what people would say. And I think I respect that about him.
Or as Bill Clinton said, it's better to be wrong and strong than right and weak. In 2000, Al Gore refused to campaign with Bill Clinton, for the shame of a prosperous economy and a surplus. In 2004, John Kerry was swift-boated for winning 2 Purple Hearts, and he didn't fight back. In 2024, Kamala refused to campaign with Biden, and both of them refused to associate with their economy, which was the envy of the modern world. Post-election, we're hearing all sorts of reasons why Kamala lost. She's too woke. She's too close to Cheney. She should have gone on Rogan. There should have been a primary. Dems don't know how to talk to the working class. Blah, blah, fucking blah. Or they say we need to tell a better story, whatever the that means. Like Trump's a storyteller? Like MAGA wants daddy to tuck them in with a good story? Then let's run Garrison Keillor. He's a good storyteller. Is he going to beat Trump? And you know what? All of that might be true, but there's a reason above all those, out of which everything else trickles. Dems are...
Pussies don't like dicks, because pussies get by dicks.
In 2012, the GOP did an autopsy report on their loss, and it said they need to do a lot of work to expand their base. And do you know what they did? Nothing. They ignored it. And then they win in 2016. Not the popular vote, of course. Dems don't fight. Don't get me wrong, they are tenacious in battling policy papers and getting every little detail right in a bill. Joe Biden was the most legislatively accomplished president since LBJ. They don't fight, they back down. And in the rare instance when they do throw a rhetorical punch, they back down when they get punched back. They prevaricate and stammer and revise their statements, but for W and Trump, they stand on business. You know, like a leader. Messaging isn't just improving some of your slides in a PowerPoint. In advertising, it's how you say it. In politics, it's how you fight. The mere fact of taking arrows, getting knocked down, then getting back up is the message. This extends to things like Merrick Garland getting nowhere with prosecuting Trump, which makes Trump look innocent. Or Obama when he didn't go after a single bankster after the Great Recession, which led in part to the Tea Party getting so much traction, which definitely led to Trump winning in 2016 when he said he was going to drain the swamp. Dems don't go on Fox, they don't go on MAGA right podcasts, which by the way, that makes them look elitist. But we'll talk about that another day. Not going on Fox, that's weak. Kamala didn't even go on leading left podcasts because they would hold her accountable. Dems don't like, or even know how, to stand tall and push back. And voters sense it. A lot of voters don't know policy. They don't know who's right. If they see a liberal getting a lot of punches, they don't actually know if it's the liberal or conservative who's right. But when they see a liberal stammering and prevaricating and equivocating, that says, they're not willing to fight, so they must be wrong. It's better to get your ass kicked and keep fighting than it is to tuck tail at the first moments of hardship. The only thing voters have to go by is which candidate really believes what they're saying and will fight when the chips are down. Because if you're not willing to fight, then you must not really believe in what you're saying. For instance, when Roe was overturned, here's what the Dems did. God bless America. They sang Kumbaya. Voters want rage. They want someone's anger to match their frustration. When bad things are happening, voters want anger, not a modulated response, not a sternly worded letter. We want to know that you care as much as we do, not some 3-day delay so you can get focus groups to tell you what message to say. For instance, here's what Dick Durbin said after sex predator Matt Gaetz was nominated to be the Attorney General.
The timing of Mr. Gaetz' resignation from the House raises serious questions about the contents of the House Ethics Committee report.
The fear of fighting is part and parcel the fear of standing up for what we believe in, even when the going gets tough. Dems flee when the going gets tough. In 2010, they ran away from Obamacare after they passed it, which made it look like they were all ashamed of what they had done. Fear of fighting is what has paralyzed the Dems this time around in talking about the leading economy in the world, because they didn't know how to talk about the high prices aspect of our economy. And now this is the most important part. While Dems don't even know how to talk about the high prices, the mere act of talking about it is what matters. Voters want to see you fighting, and if you get back up and take more punches, that shows fight. Dems think hate and anger are the same thing. But it doesn't have to be hateful anger. How about passionate strength? Dems tell us to trust government, but then they don't even fight for it. How did Trump not even get a trial? How is Clarence Thomas not even getting impeached? Why did not a single bankster go to jail after the recession? How do we fight disinformation? With strength. Stupid mouth breathers don't know who to trust. On one side, we have crazy people doubling down on all their crazy shit. On the other side, we have reasonable people deferring and trying to show respect. But if the crazy people are so crazy, why are we respecting them? There must be some truth to the crazy side then, because they're so passionate in what they believe, unlike the prevaricating, measured, wishy-washy, out-of-touch elitists on the other side. Now, more than ever, we need to fight because the centrists and moderates are veering to the right for political and economic incentives. If we dig our heels in now, that's a huge distance for MAGA to have to drag us. In case I'm not being clear, one more time, here's The Last Samurai, a movie we all love, directed by Edward Zwick. Tom Cruise's character kept getting his punk ass kicked by the samurai, but the samurai accepted him because he kept getting back up. They accepted him because he kept fighting. Fighting is all that matters. That's all people see. That's all they can go on. So what's one of the first things we can do, first action we can take to let people know we're fighters? It's simple. You just look them in the eye and you say, yeah, I said it.